People hate Jeff Bezos because he runs a sweatshop. And he could afford not to. That's why. You dumb you. Over the weekend, I listened to a podcast on this app. The podcast that I listened to was a podcast I hadn't heard in a while. But admittedly, I had listened to it before. It's by this guy. You may recognize him. His name is Michael Rappaport. He's a loudmouth jackass who says a lot of shit he doesn't need to say. Sometimes he's funny. Most times, he's just loud. You may have saw him during Trump's reign make video after video cursing out Trump because he thinks Trump is a fucking hump. Right? You fuck you Trump, you dirty Stephen Trump. You scumbag Trump. You are a scumbag. You are the worst of the worst Trump. You're a horrible individual. Hope you rot in hell. You fucking something, effing Trump, F you Trump. You go to hell, Trump. That's what he did. That's what he did for 4 years. 4 years. 4 years of cursing out Trump daily, right? So I listened to this guy, Michael Rappaport. And he said some stuff in this podcast I didn't agree with. Here goes what he said.
What? Like, what is wrong with accumulating wealth? Why is that something to be embarrassed of? Why is that something to be shunned upon? Like, people are like, oh, they hate this guy, Jeff Bezos, because he's a gazillionaire. This is a self-made fucking guy. Jack from Twitter, he's a bad guy. He created a thing that gives the entire world joy. He's supposed to profit from that. Nobody's saying Phil Knight from Nike, yo, fuck Phil Knight from Nike. Nah, bitch, you're wearing the Nikes. You're wearing the Adidas. You're wearing that Gucci shit. Under Armour. This was a company that came from nowhere. They created a company, a brand. Like, this is what the fuck it is. These people are shunned. Jeff Bezos, his girlfriend's brother lost a case, a defamation case.
Yeah. So, guys, I couldn't understand why Michael Rappaport, Mr. Zoolander himself, Mr. True Romance, Mr. Higher Learning, which he did, that he was in a movie with Ice Cube. Someone said Michael Rappaport defended Ice Cube. Maybe that's why, because they worked together before. Maybe friends. I couldn't understand why Michael Rappaport was defending Jeff Bezos. And why was Michael Rappaport the guy that was tearing Trump a new ass every other day about how horrible Trump was, how he was an elitist piece of garbage, was defending Jeff Bezos and making excuses for Jeff Bezos? That didn't make sense. Why was Michael Rappaport saying people hate Jeff Bezos because he's rich? Then he threw in the guy from Twitter, Jack Dorsey, and then Under Armour, and then Nike. Well, here goes the reasons. Michael Rappaport, off the top of my head. First of all, people don't dislike Jeff Bezos because he's rich. People hate Jeff Bezos because he runs a sweatshop. And he could afford not to. That's why. You dumb fuck you. And if people don't like Nike, it's for the same reasons. It's not because they don't like the shoes. It's not because Mr. Knight makes a lot of money. It's because in a sweatshop somewhere in Indonesia making shoes when he could do it somewhere else and pay a decent wage, make a little less profit, and still be a gazillionaire. still be very rich, just like Bezos. Same thing. It's not that they are rich, you dumb fuck you. It's that these people make all of this money, and instead of make a little bit less, they say, screw it, let's abuse human beings. Because if we abuse people and don't treat them like humans, we can extract a little bit more profit. A little bit more. We could do the right thing, but fuck that. Why do the right thing? We can make more money this way. So your whole argument sucks ass. Now, I saw that this weekend. I saw that. So this is horrible what this guy says. That's only part of it. He did more defending of Jeff Bezos. It's even worse than that. He started off that segment siding with Wall Street and taking a dump on the individual traders who made money off GameStop. And all I kept thinking is, what a hypocrite. What a hypocrite. He dogged Trump for 5 years. He started dogging Trump before Trump became president. And don't get me wrong, I say things I criticized Trump too. I didn't vote for Trump and I criticized Trump. I didn't vote for Trump and I criticized Trump. But every day this guy made a video about how horrible Trump was, how he was an elitist, how he was a racist, how he didn't treat people well. And then here goes Michael Rappaport pretending like he cares about everyday working people, and he's siding with Jeff Bezos and Wall Street. I said, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say something to him. Yeah, I'm going to say something because I got a feeling that Michael Rappaport is so arrogant that if I say something to him, he will respond. Because that's what arrogant fuckheads do. I was right, Johnson. Here goes my tweet. I just got through listening to Michael Rappaport cape so hard for Jeff Bezos, he must be trying to get a slot on his PR team. Hey, Michael, Jeff Bezos doesn't need you to defend him. The Amazon workers he's shit-canned for trying to unionize do. Dumb. Michael responded, what did you hear that, goofy? I probably said something like he's rich and I don't count out the man's pockets because I'm not a jealous hooker. Are you a jealous hooker? So you know I had to respond to that. I said, here goes the clip of you defending Jeff Bezos. Lame. We don't hate him because he's rich. We hate him because he's a union-busting, greedy bastard, and you'd know that if you use Google, Johnson. And that's when I played that, and that was the clip that I just played of, in Michael Rappaport's own words, caping for Jeff Bezos. And Michael Rappaport said, yeah, I stand by it. You listen to the Iron Rappaport, and that's your takeaway? Super sad. So now he's blaming me for criticizing him for giving Jeff Bezos a lap dance. I said, I finished the conversation by saying, I'm sure you stand by it because at the end of the day, you stand with the rich against poor and working people. All that busting on Trump for 5 years was just jokes. These are your true colors. Green. You are an elitist ass kisser. So look, guys, my reason for including this Michael Rappaport piece is not that Michael Rappaport is the worst person. He's not the worst person. He's the man sitting next to the worst person. And what I mean by that is that he's a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite because for almost 5 years, he's the guy who railed against Trump about how horrible Trump was. Most people would consider Trump and Jeff Bezos to be sort of the two type of same people, or two of the same types of people. People that put money in front of all things, who put greed ahead of humanity. And how can you criticize Trump and not criticize Bezos? So you would think, and to be consistent, if you got a problem with Trump and his greedy actions while in office, him doing things just to get publicity and money at the detriment of the people, you would still have a problem. You have a problem with somebody like Jeff Bezos who does the same thing. Extracting all he can out of his workers and screwing them when he doesn't have to. And that same Michael Rapaport also was given a lap dance to Wall Street, siding with Wall Street and condemning the traders who happen to make a couple bucks on these hedge funds. All I'm saying, guys, is these resistors who spent the last 5 years pretending to be somebody they weren't, keep your eyes open. They will expose themselves to who they really are. People who love the system the way it is, they were pretending, Johnson. They were pretending to care. At the end of the day, Jeff Bezos is Michael Rappaport's class friend. Yeah. In the class, in the stratosphere class, don't get me wrong, Michael Rappaport's nowhere near as successful as Jeff Bezos. But Michael Rappaport aspires to be so. He aspires to be. He's not a humanitarian. He's a classist. And he sees a correlation there between himself and Jeff Bezos. They figured it out long ago. It's about the money, Johnson. And all that complaining and lying and overacting and virtual signaling that they did the last 5 years, it's all bullshit, guys. Because they didn't really mean it. Michael Rappaport said what he thought he needed to say in order to be relevant the last couple of years. Until this acting gig came through. Atypical. There you go. Michael Rappaport and Atypical on Netflix. You know, until something new came about. Meanwhile, he just floats around the internet, cursing out people, being a complete idiot when he's a grown-ass man. Commenting on things without doing any research. I mean, what person, what human being doesn't know all of the negative publicity surrounding Amazon's Jeff Bezos? That you would put that in a podcast and then have the audacity to, defend it. Hey, man, back in the day when you used to do the Willie Hutch with your boy, I like that shit, but this is garbage. I'm not saying anything. I'm not going over the top. I'm not going to say what I think about you. I'm not going to say you're a bad person or that you're a bigot or, you are an elitist. You kiss the ass of elitists. And you're my class enemy because you side with the greedy billionaire over the poor workers living paycheck to paycheck that work at Amazon. In horrible conditions, a lot of them, who just want a fair shake. And you would think a guy like you who's doing well could respect people that aren't doing as well, who have to work a shit job at Amazon and be treated like garbage. At least enough not to defend Jeff Bezos. I don't think Jeff Bezos even had to call you and ask you to do it either. You just did it because that's what you morons do. You defend the rich and wealthy over the people. No one has to ask you to do it. You just know that's what you should do. Because in your mind, we're garbage. And don't hide behind that, I'm just a comedian. Get better material, bitch. Because this material is garbage. You know what? It's a lot of these actors, a lot of these people are cornballs, man. There are a lot of cornballs. They pretend to be, I'm an activist, and I'm a this, and I'm a that. And really, they're just picking up checks. They're just picking up checks, and they really are afraid of going against the system. They're just there to do well, make as much money as possible.
Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Don't be fooled by corporate media talking heads misleading the people. Get your news and information from an entity that keeps it real. Tim Black. Tim Black is the host of The Tim Black Show. Independent news that leaves you informed, inspired, and sometimes entertained, but always in the know. Go to timblacktv.com and sign up today. The Tim Black Show is news for people who can't stand the news. See you there.